All right, buckle up, chess fans, because today we are diving deep into the life of Magnus Carlsen.
But not his chess skills.
Exactly, we've talked about that plenty.
Today, we're tackling the mystery that is Ella Victoria Malone.
Carlsen's soon-to-be wife.
You know, he's always been so private about his life outside of chess, kind of like...
It's like a grandmaster hiding his secret strategy.
Right, and that's what makes this deep dive so interesting.
So for those out there who might only know Carlsen as that chess guy, can you give us a quick rundown of just how dominant he's been?
Oh, he's not just that chess guy, he's the chess guy. 5-time world chess champion, 5-time world rapid chess champion, and he's tied for the most World Blitz chess championship wins with, get this, 8 titles.
8. So basically, he's conquered every format of chess there is.
Pretty much. He's held the #1 spot in those FIDE world rankings for years. And his peak rating is, well, it's the highest ever recorded.
Okay, so we've established the guy is a chess legend. But through all this, he's managed to keep his personal life completely off the board, so to speak.
Yeah, which is why this whole engagement thing with Ella Victoria Malone has everyone buzzing.
Like, who is this woman who's managed to capture the heart of the world's greatest chess player? And what's she all about?
It's the million-dollar question. I mean, before Ella, Carlsen was linked to a couple of other women, Elizabeth Lorentzen Joan and Sin Christian Larsen.
But even with those relationships, the details are like what? Whispers in the wind?
Exactly, like trying to find a single grain of sand on a beach. There were some sightings with Joan at chess events and rumors about Larsen lasting a few years.
But nothing concrete.
Nope, just a whole lot of speculation and, well, not much else.
It almost feels like he's gone to great lengths to separate his love life from his public persona, like a deliberate choice to shield the people he cares about.
It makes you wonder, right? Like, is it to protect them from the pressure, from the scrutiny that comes with being associated with someone so famous?
Because let's face it, the world of chess, while maybe not Hollywood-level crazy, still has its share of fans and media attention.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And Carlsen's at the center of it all.
Right, and he's never seemed to be the type who seeks out that extra attention. He lets his chess do the talking.
Which is honestly pretty refreshing, especially these days when everyone seems to crave the spotlight.
Totally. But speaking of shining bright, if you're feeling inspired to make some power moves in your own lifetime,
Are we talking chess tactics now?
well, maybe not quite. But if you're after some cool chess t-shirts or hats, our sponsor, ZeroBlunders.com, has got you covered.
Yeah, I've seen their stuff. Pretty neat designs.
Head over to ZeroBlunders.com for all your chess apparel needs. Now, back to this mystery woman, Ella Victoria Malone.
Yeah, we know so little about her. It's almost like she's this blank space on the chessboard. We know she exists, but we don't know how she moves, what her strategy is.
And the fact that Carlsen, Mr. Private himself, has chosen to share his life with her, well, it says something, doesn't it?
It definitely does. It's like he's saying, okay, this part of my life, this is important enough to share. And given how guarded he's been in the past, that's huge.
So what can we glean from this? I mean, what kind of person would Carlsen be drawn to? Someone who can handle the pressures of being with a world champion.
You're right. It has to be someone comfortable with his level of fame, someone who maybe even values privacy as much as he does.
Someone who isn't seeking the limelight themselves, maybe. Someone grounded who sees him for who he is, not just the chess superstar.
It's almost like he's found someone who understands that there's more to life than just winning, someone who brings a sense of balance to his world.
Well, let's try and uncover more about that balance, shall we?
Yeah.
What else can we piece together about Ella, about their relationship, and how it all fits into Carlsen's life beyond the chessboard?
Let's dig in. This is going to be fascinating.
All right, let's do it. Could Ella have played a part in him stepping away from competitive chess?
I mean, it's definitely possible. Remember, he said he lacked motivation, right? Maybe finding happiness and fulfillment in his personal life had something to do with it.
It's not like he suddenly forgot how to play chess, right? More like his focus shifted.
Exactly. It's about where he's choosing to put his energy now. Maybe Ella represents a change in priorities for him.
Like there's more to life than just being the best in the world at something, even if that something is chess.
Right. And maybe she embodies those other values, the things that are important to him now. You know, things like family, connection, just spending time together.
Makes you wonder if his past relationships, the ones we talked about earlier, maybe those lack that balance that he seems to be looking for.
Yeah, possibly. Imagine being so focused on chess that you don't have the energy to put into a real partnership, a real connection.
It's all consuming, right? That drive to be the best.
Totally. So it makes sense he'd be drawn to someone who can help him find that balance, someone who shows him it's okay to step back from that intensity.
To just be Magnus, not Magnus the world champion.
Exactly. But there's something else I've been thinking about. How do you think Ella will deal with all the attention that comes with being married to Magnus Carlsen? I mean, he's a global icon.
Yeah, good point. She's going to be in the spotlight whether she wants to be or not. But maybe that tells us something about her personality, right?
Like what?
Well, if she's okay with being with someone who values privacy as much as Carlsen does, it probably means she's pretty grounded herself.
Oh, I see what you mean. She's not going to be someone who wants to be on the cover of every magazine, right? She's got to be pretty comfortable in her own skin.
She must be, right?
Yeah.
Otherwise, why choose someone who actively avoids that kind of attention? It doesn't really add up.
It doesn't. It screams mature and independent, someone who doesn't need everyone looking at them to feel good about themselves.
Which, if you think about it, makes her the perfect match for Carlsen, right? They can be this power couple, but in their own way. Him with the chess brilliance and her with his down-to-earth perspective.
Totally. They each bring something unique to the table.
It's funny, though, right? We spent all this time talking about what we don't know about Ella.
And there's a lot we don't know.
But maybe that's the point. Maybe the fact that she doesn't have a public profile is exactly what Carlsen was looking for.
That's an interesting thought. Remember all those rumors about his past relationships, all that media speculation? Maybe he sees Ella's anonymity as a way to protect their relationship.
To keep it sacred, away from prying eyes.
It's like he's drawing a line, saying, this much I'll share, but the rest is for us. And hey, he's earned the right to do that. He's given the world so much already with his chess.
He deserves to have a part of his life that's just his own.
Exactly. And maybe Ella represents that for him, a safe haven, a place where he can just be Magnus, the guy who likes football and hanging out, not the chess champion.
Just a regular guy, even if he's anything but regular.
Right, like we're seeing this whole new side of him, this Magnus 2.0, the guy who's figuring out there's more to life than just winning.
And honestly, who doesn't love a good transformation story? It gives us all hope, right? Even someone at the top of their game can evolve and find new things that make them happy.
It's like a reminder that life's a journey, not a race to the finish line.
Sometimes the most interesting paths are the ones you least expect.
Oh, absolutely. That's what makes this whole deep dive so fascinating. We're trying to figure out not just who Ella is, but how she'll influence what Carlsen does next.
And what a story it'll be to watch unfold.
It will be. Speaking of stories, you know how we were talking about Carlsen being noticed by Microsoft when he was a kid? Well, it turns out that wasn't the only time his chess skills got him noticed by a big company.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Who else was impressed by young Magnus?
Well, a few years later, the clothing company G-Star Raw approached him to be the face of one of their campaigns.
A clothing company?
Yeah.
Seriously. What did they want with a chess player?
I know, it sounds kind of strange, right? But they were drawn to his, his intelligence, his confidence. They thought he had a unique style.
They saw him as a fashion icon.
Well, maybe not quite an icon, but they definitely thought he was cool. And, I think that's part of what makes him so interesting. He's not just a brilliant chess player. He's got this other side to him, this charisma.
And maybe that's what Ella sees, too. The man behind the chessboard, not just the champion.
It's a good reminder that even geniuses are human,
They need connection. They want to be loved, just like the rest of us.
Exactly. At the end of the day, we're all just trying to find our place in the world.
But let's get back to Ella for a second. We've talked about how she might balance Carlsen's life, but what about her own interests? What's she passionate about? What does she do when she's not with Magnus?
Those are the million-dollar questions, aren't they? We have so little to go on. It's like trying to solve a puzzle with most of the pieces missing.
It's the ultimate challenge for our detective skills.
Yeah.
It really is a puzzle, isn't it?
No, like one of those 1,000-piece ones where you're not even sure what the picture's supposed to be yet.
Exactly. We just have a few clues. Her name, the fact that Carlsen chose her.
But beyond that...
Total mystery. But maybe we can, work backwards a little.
What do you mean?
Well, we know Carlsen's a big football fan.
Right, huge Real Madrid supporter. Remember that time he did the honorary kickoff after winning the world championship?
Yeah. I bet that was a pretty cool experience, even for a guy who's used to being in the spotlight.
Must have been. I wonder if Ella shares that passion for football. Maybe they watch games together.
It's possible.
Yeah.
Or maybe she's into something totally different, something he's never even considered.
Like underwater basket weaving.
Hey, who knows? The point is, there's this whole side to him that's not just about chess strategies and calculations.
And that's where Ella might really come in, right? Adding a whole new dimension to his life.
It's like we're witnessing the evolution of Magnus Carlsen. Magnus 2.0, if you will.
Love that. Magnus 2.0, the champion who's exploring what else is out there beyond the world of chess.
And that's what makes this whole thing so interesting, right? This isn't just about figuring out who Ella is.
It's about how she might be changing him, helping him grow.
Because, let's be real, everyone loves a good transformation story. It's inspiring to see someone at the top of their game still striving for something more.
Totally. It's like a reminder that life is about more than just reaching the peak. It's about the journey, the unexpected turns.
So where does all this leave us? We've talked about Carlsen's past, we've speculated about Ella's influence, we've even touched on his love of football.
We've covered a lot of ground.
But what's the takeaway for our listeners? What's the message we want them to walk away with?
I think the most important thing to remember is that there's so much we don't know, and that's okay.
Like, it's not always about having all the answers.
Exactly. Sometimes the mystery, the unknown, that's what makes life interesting. It's like, well, like a game of chess, right? You can't predict every single move.
Gotta stay on your toes, be ready for anything.
Be adaptable, be open to new possibilities. That's what Carlsen's doing right now. Stepping away from the familiar, embracing the unknown, trusting that it'll lead him to something even better.
And maybe, just maybe, Ella Victoria Malone is the key to unlocking that next level for him.
To finding that next level of happiness and fulfillment, both on and off the chessboard.
And who knows, maybe in the future we'll get a glimpse into their lives together, see what this new chapter holds for them.
That'd be amazing. But until then, we can only speculate.
Use those detective skills, piece together those clues.
And enjoy the mystery.
That's right. Thanks for joining us today on this deep dive into the world of Magnus Carlsen and the enigmatic Ella Victoria Malone.